Hello.
I'm not ready.
Well, I mean, do everything that you need, Ms. Welch, to prepare.
Okay.
There we go. Centered, manifest excellence. Hello, I'm Jerriford K. Horcrims, and these are all the same people who were here before.
Hey.
I'm applauding silently inside.
Hey.
Yeah, applause,
Hey.
applause within. Now, because it is now after you have fully experienced, been enriched by Kate Welch's turn behind the DM screen.
Yes,
I
that's
do
been
want
another
to
table talk praising me.
I do want to take a moment, certainly, to appreciate Kate. And Kate's
my favorite segment.
Kate's works. Appreciate, if you will.
Yes.
It's like duplicate, right?
Yeah.
From Invincible. And also I want to appreciate Chris, who delivered a great experience. Boy.
That was really fun.
So enriching, so savory.
Thank you much.
Tristan and Ryan are also here. Now, let's take a look at the Table Talk script. It's been provided by Alyssa. We're going to adhere to it. At the maximum, Ryan, you shut your fucking mouth.
Jerry has a favorite side of the table, whether we're at the table or not.
Yeah, all these fun little things you did. I facilitated the box that those things went into.
I am the parentheses.
I am the plate. Yes, this was a lovely little steak, little side of green beans. I provided the plate that they go on to.
Okay.
Compliment the plate.
It's a great plate.
And Tristan.
Thank you. I did nothing, but I looked great.
Here, now, but what you did actually, Tristan, was nourish ya boy. Because you sent me a text at my most horrified. After the panel that I did with Chris, the psychological horror hour and a half role-playing 1v1 thing, and I was like, I think that worked, but I also think that it might have been completely nuts. And I was trying to figure out if something could both work and be completely nuts. But then I got texts from you and then a text from Kate, and that made me feel like maybe it was okay, like maybe it worked.
It was very cool. Chess and I were watching it together.
We were eviscerating you, but also cheering you on. But also eviscerating, but also cheering.
I mean,
for sure.
By now you must certainly know.
There's a lot of this.
Well, yeah, I mean a lot. Do you mean all? Yes, because. But
what,
then
you were doing it, that we were doing it.
Exactly, Jesus. But then after an hour and a half, there was a result. That's all I'm trying to say. Now,
prestige.
Exactly, if you will. Now, Jerry, announce Idle Champions code giveaway. And this is actually hot shit. We're giving away a big walnut bundle featuring an unlock for Walnut Donggrass, who figures prominently in many successful builds. 42 walnut gold chests and an exclusive golden epic right now. Get active in chat. I saw it before. I know I'll see it again. As well, the Level Up Dice Black Table Shaker D20. So these are both available to you. Become present, manifest excellence, as Kate did to start the table talk. And then, of course, very, very soon, I will know who came away with it. Now, the next section is entitled Top Donor Callouts. So we're going to start to my right with Ryan Hartman, which is to say, Dinar Blitzen, host, vessel of the Glittering Dragon King, Varus Malus. How are things at the hut?
Owner and proprietor of the hut, I am ready for this now because the itinerary was followed correctly for this game. And now I'm prepared. Don't you talk. My time to talk. You listen to me. All right. Things at the hut. They're great. Oh, we're having so much fun at the Yum Yum Hut. Everyone should come in, buy lots of hot dogs and hamburgers. We have a good time. Who is our new favorite customer / employee? this is great because we finally
even
get
remember.
a new person because we've been inundated with the same weirdo for a little while. But new person, who's it going to be? Employee of the month? Tyrannosaurus. Yay.
Finally, a new face.
Finally, some fresh blood. Here's what you get.
Spice things up
Another
a little
one.
bit.
You're going to make a vest out of these things.
It says yum and yuck, but because you reverse it to show us the other side, it could also say yum, and then it could say muy, like more, on the other side. That's one way to do it. I'm not the boss.
mirror,
hang out in front of mirrors, and you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
It keeps giving.
Yeah, I can be nourished by that. Now, to the right of my right, Walnut Dongrass. What a pleasure it is to see you once again. Is there any new business?
Yes, the new business is this mortal plane, this realm that we're on, this prime material, the planet,
If you will.
is in trouble, and Captain Planet is dead. Climate change killed him. So we need he's not coming back. He's never coming back. Don't wait for him.
What about Heart? Isn't that part of it?
No, they're all done.
I was the first one to go.
You killed Home Tree where the blue cats are, Captain Planet, like the whole thing's messed up. So now
do y'all still remember the whole Captain Planet theme song, by the way?
Captain Planet,
he's our hero.
he's a hero.
Gonna take pollution down to zero.
No, that was it. Fair use. Listen, the IP is still active, but Captain Planet is deceased. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So,
We're going to reboot.
would you let me get through my garbage?
Sorry.
The Enclave is now, our first line of defense in, just being a warrior of the natural world. And this week, Rahujube, one, put in for some great lore from Rosie B. Singer, who is incredible and was also our top Enclave person. But now I'm also putting the guilt on you that I need you to, step up and really represent the Grove in RP spaces and in real life. And I will be checking the receipts, please.
But I love it. I love the idea that the EPA is like turned to GoFundMe, like in the modern era. It's like
everything else.
Right. Now, to my left, Rosie, stars.
There they are.
Nice.
There's one of them. It's like it looks like it's got a kind of a curve to it. And that one's real interesting. You don't see that a whole lot of the time. Nice. I'm going to call that one, I can't decide. I've got two options here. Either arcs tangent or arc staying the ent. But I'll figure it out. Yeah.
We like it.
And it doesn't look like this, but it's next to this one.
Yeah.
It looks like that one.
Yeah, now to the left of my left. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's similar. To the left of my left, have there been any emanations from the void, Kuthra Stroud?
All the time, every day. You can't get away
non-stop.
from emanation.
It's an emanation a minute around here.
Yeah, just try asking at any other point. I'm going to say, yep. I will honestly say that.
I mean, the whole reason I asked is, historically, is because it was predicated upon the idea that void emanations were a rarity. Are you saying that this is actually more or less constant? A drumbeat?
I mean, depends on what kind of emanation, like what kind of quality you're looking for.
I guess that's
true. I'm just talking about like random, like whatever emanating. Fine, sure, yes, you'll see those, but then sometimes there's a resonance that speaks to me.
Nice.
And today that resonance is Doctor Mondo.
Doctor Mondo.
I assume it's Dr. Mondo 7. It could be just DRM on to 7.
Yeah.
It might be a chord. I don't know what that is. But you'll receive one of my own musings in glyphic form. And I hope that it serves you and those secret chords that you may seek.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of the Calderon, Catherine Melky representing oneself in this context. Now, I had a chance to speak to Catherine Melky at length a couple times during the show. What a pleasure it was. Now, poll result discussion. So we had two choices. We had the Dingari. It was close. There was an opportunity to go into some Dingari culture. We did not arrive at it.
No.
Now, if it's any consolation, Dingari culture is largely manta based. I mean, it's not. It's not. It's a mantas
You say
figure.
that like it's not fascinating.
Mantas figure prominently.
It's just like
It's
a
just
turnkey.
mantas.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever.
See, no, I did not. I had forgotten just how ridiculous this episode was. It turns out that it's quite ridiculous. But there was some legitimately gross manta ring interactions, perhaps from Grandmother Night.
Jerry, you put a manta with rings on it in front of me. I'm gonna rip those rings out of that manta. I feel like you know this about me.
You know what though, and honestly, this actually brings me back. I remember us talking right before the first game that we played. It was after the game 0 that we did with the square dance, the star dance, and then before the first one that we actually did with Hyper RPG. But there was that period in the middle, and you were like, "Hey, if you ever put a manta in front of me with some rings, I'm going to use a shadow ability and pull them out." And I was like, "Okay, Kate, all right."
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
You know what I mean? I was like, "When's that ever going to happen?" And lo and behold,
I know.
nigh on 4 years later,
I fucking knew it.
you made good. You made good on your promise.
That paid off.
Indeed. Now, the Cyboscus is called thus because everything else about it, except for what it uses, except for that psionic auger that it uses to extract nutrition, you make up yourself. This is just how people perceive it. But imagine that the creature itself, this sort of licking extra-dimensional tongue. I don't know if you've ever had to have a plumber come in, and unwind one of their spoolie tools. And then apply it with great force to the pipes in your house. There's a camera on this. To your house, yes, Tristan.
It's not, but it's fine. If you're not ready.
You got the camera on there, and it takes great force. Obviously, there's a lot of PSI involved. It is being projected down. Now, imagine if a creature outside the model of existence that we know, the model that I have in my first Planescape box set. Imagine if such a creature were to thrust its instrument of consumption into the prime material plane or the astral plane, and then just have it whip around and collect material and matter. That is the Cyboscus.
That's cool.
So it's a Katamari.
Well, in some ways,
sexual Katamari.
It's a deeply erotic. No, Kate, no.
It's like the automated things that rove around the bottom of a pool and suck up dirt.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I said.
But bad.
But they're called Katamaris, so Kate is right.
Harumph. Now,
former pool owner.
I was just gonna say pool owner over here. Now, winner callouts. Would it surprise you to learn that these substantial walnut bounties have accrued to longtime allies of the channel and of the program, Stu Harves and Gelatinous Dude? No, it's no surprise, and in fact, it's their time. This is their time to.
Two people who got very active in the chat. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
I'm unbothered by
they cranked it up. Now, Elderwood Academy, Cathris, Elite Hex Chest, lots of custom work, and of course, you will see custom work even inside the chest itself. This is going to Leftria, and my presumption is that this Leftria is the same Leftria that was probably in the Omegathon at our gloriously returned PAX show.
I would
Now,
assume.
indeed, now because you were not at the final round with us on stage, I mean, I can guess at how things might have gone. I don't know where it happened, but I like to think it was right up until the very end. Level Up Dice Black Table Shaker D20. Siros the Boss. A dice worthy of the title. Enjoy. Now, for this game, MVP, what do we think?
Oh God.
I mean, the Prince Albert that Rosie ripped out of that manta is pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are adding a lot of eroticism that I did not intend, and it seems like the erotic content has only been bolstered since we played the game because you're both in a state.
Wasn't that his name? It was Prince Albert Dinkari. Don't laugh. I'm pretty positive.
Basically, I was gonna say like those rings were apparently like in the wings, but we don't know the wings of what. So consider it.
The balls are the wings of the dick.
Are they?
Precisely.
And Tristan has a ready-made gesture of some kind. Unpleasant.
I cannot think of a better object that created more joy than Rosie just gunking up. Don't make it about that.
It is now.
Then Rosie gunking up all those mantas. That was so funny.
It was really funny, and it also had it also gave us a chance to go back to one of the first conversations that Kate and I had actually had about Rosie, which is what the shadow represents. Like, obviously, it represents the obvious things that we know, but what it actually means to Rosie, and what shadow means in a society. I remember the conversation, and I
remember it well. Yeah,
I try to let it inform, when I'm interacting with Rosie's powers. I try to figure out how that resolves itself. Now,
I think we've talked about it on Table Talk before. Don't move on. I want to talk about this. If we haven't,
that's the section. That's literally the section that we're at right now. Standard game discussion and question answering.
Well, fantastic. Let's enter the section. The shadow stuff that you have referred to is like you had this wonderful analogy that old women in particular, that tend to get brushed aside as irrelevant or not economically useful or not sexually interesting. And so they accumulate in the corners like shadows do. And so Rosie has figured out a way to use that dismissal to her advantage, which is one of my favorite things about her, is that, she's literally a tiny little old lady. How dangerous could she possibly be? And utilizing that delicious dramatic irony has always been fun.
But I will never forget. It's so funny. Like, when I think back to, I wanted every character to have, God, I mean, this is like 5 years ago now. This is insane. But I wanted every character to have a weird little introduction that was sort of their own when we first started the game. And so that moment where these two young toughs try to roll Rosie as she goes into her new home, like, that's still one of the coolest moments in the show to me. I mean, immortalized even in the introduction, right? It's so cool.
It was a really cool moment.
And then I tried to come back to that with this episode, where I basically did initiative, but the initiative is only to orient us toward whose scene is going in what order. Mm-hmm. Individually, you're not really working together on these problems. Each of you can handle these problems. Well, I guess Ryan might not be able to handle his problem. I guess we'll see.
Ryan can handle it. Dinar, though.
Yes, now you're talking. Yeah. But I tried to come back to some of that in this episode, where everybody sort of has their own section, their own scenes, and they can define them how they want. Now, is there any more standard game discussion before I move into the question answering phase?
Can we talk about the Grave of Men?
Absolutely. I saw some mega ship potential in chat for Cthulhu and Grave of Men.
I think you got to normalize platonic intimacy. There's nothing wrong with a demon and a drow just perceiving a battlefield together. Just enjoying each other's company. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine.
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah. If anything, if anything, it's regular.
I'm done
Yeah.
normalizing. Let's all be freaks about it. Yeah.
Let's go back.
Yeah, if anything,
Let's
make it
actually
weird.
too positive about it.
let's
Weird
revert
about
it
how
back to
positive it
kink.
is.
We liked that. That was more
No.
fun.
It's completely platonic, but it is fucking weird, and I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
enjoy that.
Don't take the weirdness from me. Hey. So Tyrannosaurus has popped in, and they are suggesting, hey, shout out to Triss. On last week's Table Talk, you said that PAX had made you feel the happiest you had been in months. You're not alone. Thank you for sharing. In fact, I talked to Tyrannosaurus and Catherine Melky in the same conversation, actually. And obviously, you know, fully masked up, everybody vaxxed. I mean, obviously, you know, Ryan did his absolute best to establish a framework around the event that allowed it to be safe and fun. But yeah, it nourished a lot of people. It gave people a lot of energy, even in its form, like even in this current form of it. And obviously it's nothing but, you know, we'll keep on moving up from here. But yeah, I feel the same way, Triss, for sure. It was, I've been processing it here for the last couple of weeks, honestly.
Yeah, I'm bummed that we haven't that it was like, oh, I got everybody that I like, you know, like, I mean, I feel like every time I go to PAX and it's in Seattle, I'm like, wow, there's people that are coming from all over. I should hang out with them. And then I'm like, no. I mean, I just have very intense conversations with everyone that already lives here, but never comes to hang out at my place.
That's true. Yeah.
And that is what happened. And it was great. And I loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's kick-ass. Yeah, I was deeply nourished.
You need an excuse to do it. I don't have one either. It's a bummer, but
now, Sabrith says, do you ever feel there are times where maps are necessary for combat? Certainly, I have been asked by players to provide more detail occasionally, but generally the way that I try to run combat is similar to how combat works in Star Wars, where it's like you're very close, you're not close, or you're super far away. And that's, I mean, I try to, in terms of like actual feat, I try to provide that so that people know if their spells can target inside specific places. And so I try to provide it for that. But in terms of how I run it, it's like, hey, you're in their face, or they're in your face, or you're a little bit back, or you're super far away. And that's basically, the truth is that, you know, in 5e, that's for the most part sufficient, at least in my experience.
Faces instead of feet. Got it.
Yeah.
how many
Four
hands
faces
away
away.
am I?
Sniff.
Yeah,
Six faces away. Right.
I mean, I remember when we would run those AI games on stage with Chris Perkins.
With?
We were like fighting Drist or whatever, and it's like we're literally like moving these models around, and like 4E combat takes a minute on stage. It takes a minute.
Yeah.
Some people don't do wargaming, and so they want to get out, you know, like the grid and the map. They want to like lay it all out. I did that for 3.5, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now for me personally, I don't like to fight like almost at all. I like when we do one thing and it baffles an enemy and then we get to leave. Like that's great. Ideal for me, but great thing you can do.
Yeah,
Whatever the hell you want. And at this table, we don't have to fight too much.
Do what you want to do.
It's your thing, for lack of a better term. But for me, I mean, and that isn't to say that, you know, if somebody else is running their table in a certain way, like I love war games, but for me, I'm able to satisfy that kink away from this table. I play dedicated war games, and then when I come here, I'm mostly trying to give the players at the table what they need to make the best visual movie. And I have found, and I think that it's more or less worked, because I will often go back to moments in these games and they're not filed correctly. They aren't filed as D&D games. Like they're not filed as something that we have done at the table. Like the story and some of these moments, they're filed in the emotion column, and then that I have to extract out of that. Like it's been really, I have a hard time imagining that all the things that have happened in this campaign all happened in the same campaign. There was a sci-fi season.
It's almost like it was years, like a half a decade.
You need the
Of
time,
game.
yeah. Mhm.
Jesus.
When you
Jesus.
put
Hey,
it like that.
no, it's true. Shy Guy Fieri. Jerry and Chris, you've been teasing us for literal years about there being a full version of the theme song. Is there really a full version, or are you just a couple of jerks? Well, not that we have recorded. Certainly
Could be both.
could be both. Yeah,
Yes,
porque
both.
no los both. But certainly I have written lyrics, and I know how to perform them to the track because I did that before Chris had done his version. I've had that track forever. I've had that bass beat forever. That was the Supercommuter. I mean, basically, those beats are from the composer of Supercommuter. So, who I met.
Yeah, you remember we were working on a completely different thing that's not C-Team related for it for a long time.
I know. There's
And
actually
it's like,
multiple
maybe
songs on that track, but it might be fun to, I mean, it seems like if we were ever going to do it, for the culmination of the program, it might be nice to actually get it done.
I think it's appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not heard your lyrics necessarily. I think I've heard some of them, but like I think I have one for each character that hasn't
Me
been
too.
shared. Okay.
No,
well, there you
I
go.
have lyrics. I have lyrics for every character in the show.
Yeah.
Every NPC,
Yeah, every
Pieces,
butt,
but
7-hour power ballad.
every
It's so
rump.
Marillion-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
no matter how small.
Yeah, boy.
Now,
To meet you red large.
here now, Broche Pene says, "I think this may be my last live show before I move to the VOD squad, as I'm about to start a job that interferes with the C team. Bible thump is now typed as though it were an emoji. What special beverage should I buy to enjoy the weekly VODs and assuage my sorrow? My recommendation for a beer to accompany the program would be New Belgium's 1554, if you can track it down. It's quite good. That is the beer that got me into craft brewing as a concept those many years ago. And that's my favorite beer from them. And so you will definitely be synchronized with the mental state if you secure some 1554. But I am open to other suggestions from the panel.
Obviously, Miller High Life, the champagne beer, you gotta get it. Just get yourself 2 40s in those, cracking them before the first break.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff.
If you're-
Jerry's the
and-
one that told me that that's the best.
It's the best one. And Bartles and James, you can't lose. Like basically
the wine cooler?
any flavor. Oh my God. It's a winner. It's a winner. And it's a refresher.
If you
Get the bright green Mad Dog.
Yeah, but I was going to say Boone's Farm Melon Ball.
Boone's
if you want
Farm,
to be
there we
like
go.
me.
Not
Super
Strawberry
Bowl
Fields?
2004. Yeah, I didn't drink at the time, and I didn't drink for a long time after that. So get there, get in the spirit.
But I had $2.
have we thought about maybe just like bottom shelf anything in Baja Blast?
Yeah, anything that comes in a plastic bottle.
Yeah, big size plastic bottle.
Hold on, Tristan? Are you suggesting that it's not Baja Blast?
No, because
Baja.
of the way that it's said.
Baja.
It's not pronounced Harry Hulkins.
It's
Well,
Not the word that it is.
Maybe to you.
Look,
Baja.
you can pronounce it however you want. I was told never to make fun of how someone pronounces something because it means they had only read it. And so you are very learned in the ways of the Bahamian Blast.
That's a huge benefit to me.
You haven't spent enough time in Baja Blast culture.
Yeah, you're not submerged in it. Robin Childs, so nice, obviously, to see them in the chat. What has Grave of Men been up to, though? How are the Spawn? Did that career change work out? I am open to any Grave of Men headcanon, aside from the idea that Grave of Men must have spent some portion of time, perhaps, in the Hells, because they apparently have a grip of soul coins that they have used to progress. So my suspicion is that it might have been a summoning situation where they were summoned and did a tour of some kind, on Avernus or something, and has extracted some of that hellish wealth and is now trying to move on. But I am down to clown for other interpretations of this demon.
I'm not.
0. All right.
No, not a bit.
Perfect. AJ
One
Scorp.
cannon. That's it.
We're done. AJ Scorp. I don't think I've ever known this. Who is responsible for the YouTube thumbnails for these episodes? They bring so much joy. Now, there was some sniffing, perhaps, in the last episode, but indeed, if you enjoy them, you should know that our producer, Josh Price, who you have almost certainly seen on the stream at other times, hand selects in the manner of an artisan the exact frame that will provide maximum joy. And so I will make sure that they hear your praise. Indeed, they already have, because they're in this voice chat.
You're listening.
Junior C. Hag. I'm confused about the timeline. Does the Icewind Dale live show take place before or after these C-Team episodes? So when it comes to timing, at the end of this season, you won't wonder where the timing is. You'll know exactly
you have
where.
Much bigger problems.
Yeah, exactly. If you survive this season, but you will know for a fact exactly where the C-Team sort of delivers our characters back into the Prime material. You'll know exactly where it hooks up to the other campaign, because I'll specifically emphasize it for you. I mean, if we'd been able to do the game last year, it would have synced up in a much more robust way. But as it stands, I'll just make sure that you know for your own record keeping. Sick Elmo, will the Spice and Dice event be in the traditional 5e format or a different system? And I mean, I know that I am there to eat very, very spicy gummies. But beyond that, and I know that my good friend Christopher Straub is going to be operating the game from behind the screen. But beyond that, it's possible I don't know what the system is.
My impulse is to have just straight up 5e, but then add it like a sanity loss metric that relates to number of gummies consumed forced upon you. Also, here's the question: am I supposed to eat them as the DM, or will I be coughing through it? Is that bad form?
Alyssa says yes.
Just choking out.
Alyssa says yes.
Okay.
You don't have to eat them,
I will eat them,
but they got to get in you.
Yes, they have to become. They have to be incorporated.
Alyssa has a lot of rules about what we can and can't eat.
Yeah.
This is not the first time this has happened.
No, it keeps coming up, frankly. Now, Armored Kitten. I just started DMing for a group of my friends. Got my second session this weekend. Any tips for a newbie DM? I would like to direct this to the panel, if I could, because my DM style is really just a manifestation of my mental illnesses. Although maybe that's true for everybody.
Same answer.
Yeah, same answer. But I would love to reach out, because I mean, every person here has actually run a game for this group in some way.
Not true. It is true.
It is true.
I don't think I haven't done it yet, but
you did our Cthulhu game where
Australia.
What
about
right.
Ryan?
Yeah,
Ryan's done it.
And Ryan did Fred Chicken.
Fred Chicken.
No, I know you did Fred Chicken. I meant, Chris, how could you forget that you DM'd for Ryan, who really gave you his A game for that character? And I am so
absolutely.
sad.
No, I know that. I just haven't done it as a C team.
That's true. Yeah. How did you get out of DMing for us?
I'm scared.
Hey, wait
and
a
I
second.
said, please don't make me do it.
Yeah, but
I want to hear Ryan's answer to this because Ryan took the newbie DM mantle and ran with it.
I feel like I am cut from a similar DM cloth to Mike, where it's like I wanted to make a sub game within a game and find a weird mechanic and then try to build a story around it. Like I found a hook that I thought was interesting, and then I tried to like work backwards from that.
Systematize
and then also, yeah, maximum silly voices. I was like, let's pile on more dumb voices. I got a Fred Chicken, the return of Fred Chicken brewing.
Hell yeah.
I definitely borrowed from the book of Kate, where I had seen her prior to this, because I was DMing and I was very like, oh no, I don't want to do it the whole time. That's not me. And then Kate was like, oh no, you can do it. It's easy. Everybody does it. Ryan did it. You can do it. No, I'm joking. She didn't say that. But maybe
sound like that, but I did say that. I did.
And I had seen Kate at one point be like, I have to DM this game. I need to come up with something for it. And I'm like, when is it? And she's like, 20 minutes. And I'm like, what are we doing? And then it was, I forget which game it was, but you had done it and you were just like, you're like, I felt so good about that. Yeah, I just relied on my players. They're all funny people and they're not gonna let you, like die up there. So yeah, I would say if you're not going to be the type of DM that's like, I'm here to punish my players.
Oh, sure.
You're there to have a good time. Your players will want you to succeed also. It's mutually beneficial.
There's a huge difference between DMing a one shot and DMing for a campaign. And it doesn't sound like it's clear what this person is DMing for.
Well, they're just starting out, right? So
they're starting out, but still, like if this is like the beginning of a new campaign,
right,
then I actually think that the pressure's really off, because when you start a new campaign, and I'm saying this entirely hypothetically because I've never DM'd a campaign. Someday I'd love to, but I think that it's okay for you to not know any of the answers to anything, just to like set up MacGuffins. And then like as you evolve the story together, you'll figure out like, ooh, it would be really cool if that went that way, but that might not come for 6 months, So I guess if it's a campaign, just set up a bunch of cool stuff, see what your players are interested in, and go for that. If it's a one shot, I like to have beats that I want to try to get them to hit. I want to make sure they get to a satisfying conclusion most of all. And I've done a lot of fucking one shots at this point. Yeah,
that's more like the movie concept. Like a movie, a discrete story has to have those beats, or else you won't even recognize that that's what it is. But in terms of the campaign, I think that Kate's exactly right. You want to put things out and you want to have ideas. I mean, you want to have a good sense of the game state and the world state, right? But you don't want to be so precious about it that when your players are giving you really good stuff, you don't follow that interest.
Totally. Yes.
Right. So that's the
follow
trick.
Their interests and their good ideas. If you're like, fuck, that's better than what I did, just pretend that you thought of that too.
Yeah. And they will feel so smart and cool.
Exactly.
For having gotten it. Prinz Moo. Oh no, I clicked it. Oh no. It disappeared.
Ah! That was gonna be good. Oh my god. Put it in chat.
Let's find it. Can we read it again? I'm gonna wait. I'll wait.
No, I'll wait too.
Nobody talk.
Everybody vamp.
I'm gonna go here. Hey,
to find it.
So something that I was thinking about was if there was a thing, like, I don't know if you guys have eaten any food.
Is this paraphrased? This can't be the question.
Today.
Dictated.
Moo is usually much more eloquent than this.
Yeah, I don't think what's going on with Moo. You feeling all right?
No,
yeah, Junior Seahag, who here has seen a crab? Now listen, this is very hurtful stuff.
Oh yeah, this one was the embargo breaker.
Oh, the embargo breaker. Hey, QQs, and one was about whether or not we'd see Jasmine on the C team as certainty. That isn't currently the plan, although Jasmine is local, and so it wouldn't be impossible to do a cool transition there from the end of our season to the rest of Certainty Drawn's time on the A game stage. So that isn't currently the plan. Certainly we haven't discussed it with her, but she's local and I'm sure that she'd be down to clown, and that might be pretty fun. I have a couple very specific story beats I need to extract from Certainty. And I feel like for the rest of this season, and I feel like just straight up giving Jasmine a script, like that's not what I wanted to do. I don't really know what, I mean, we talked about some basic character motivations, but I've left Certainty, obviously Certainty is Omen's kid, and so she's going to have schemes of her own. But I sort of use that as a way to not define a lot about her, because I hoped someday we would find somebody who could actually play her in the main game. So if I'm going to be giving her a script, then she just has to read it. Like, that doesn't seem like it'd be fun for Jasmine, but it might be fun at the end of the season. So let me consider that possibility. Let's go back to the script that I have from Alyssa. Let's see what's here. Oh, Jerry, thank partners. Well, it'd be my great pleasure to do so, Alyssa. Level Up Dice, Idle Champs, of course, Elderwood Academy, longtime allies of the program. Thank you so much for supporting what we do. Thank you so much, Shadow Council. May our labors please you. We will see you again next week.